A very good morning, my dear students. I hope you all are keeping fine. Dear students, I Poonam Tripathi welcome you all to our today's class. Dear students, are you ready now for the class? Alright. So everyone sit straight and let's start the class. Dear children, today we'll see our grammar chapter number 11, infinitives, right? But before this, we have to revise few concepts so that it will be easy for you to understand infinitives, right? So what we are going to see now? First we have to talk about finite verbs, yeah? So first we'll discuss finite verbs. You know, students, that finite verbs, they are restricted by person, number or tense, yes? And what about non-finite verbs? Non-finite verbs are the verbs which are not restricted by person, number or tense. Yeah, all these things you have studied in your previous classes, isn't it? And under non-finite verb, what are the things that we study? Under non-finite verbs, we study about participles, gerund and infinitives. Yes, participles, infinitives and gerund, that all comes under non-finite verbs. Okay, now the first one is participles. What do we mean by participles? Right, students, see, participles are the words that shows the characteristics of both verb and adjectives depending on their uses. What does it mean? See, these are the words that carries both. It carries the characteristics of both, of verb as well as of the adjectives, right? Let's see this example and it will be more clear to you. The man confirmed that he had seen a flying saucer. Okay. Now, I repeat. The man confirmed that he had seen a flying saucer. You can see that I have used the word flying saucer. So this flying word, this has come from fly, isn't it? Fly. This flying is made from fly, which is a verb, and saucer is a noun. So it means this flying, this word modifies, it tells more about the saucer. How was the saucer? It was flying. It was a flying saucer. Another example you can see, after the accident she had a broken arm. After the accident she had a broken arm. Arm, right, here it is noun. And broken, it has come from break, right? Now let's see. The words flying and broken shows action, isn't it? Flying and broken, it shows action. And they are derived from the verbs fly and break. Flying has come from fly and broken has come from break. So they can be considered as verb. However, in the sentences above, flying and broken also modifies the noun saucer and arm like adjectives. Got it? So saucer. Saucer is actually a noun, and this word flying tells you about this saucer. So it is also acting as a adjective. Now what is the function of adjective? Adjective tells you more about the noun. It modifies noun. So here in this case is flying, and another word is broken. It tells you more about saucer and arm. So they are also working as adjective. Got it? It means participles are the words that contains the characteristics of both. Both means verb and also of adjectives. Got it? So that is your participle. And we also know that participles means we have gone through. Okay, so under participle, we have also studied about the present participle, that is the ing forms of verb. Then past participle, right? In past participle, what we do? In past participle, In case of regular verbs, it ends with ed, right? And irregular verbs, right? However, their ending vary. It means it does not only always ends with ed only, right? Then the perfect participle is there, right? So under participle, how many types of participles we have gone through? Present participle, past participle, and the perfect participle, right? So under non-finite verb, the another word is gerund. Now, what is the meaning of gerund here, right? Students, now let's see about gerund. A gerund is a noun formed from verb by adding ing, right? We add ing. Since it is derived from a verb, it retains verb characteristics because it is formed from a verb only. A gerund is a noun. It is a noun, but formed from a verb by adding ing. We add ing. Right, now let's see. Reading is my hobby. If I say reading is my hobby, here ing is used here, and reading is used here as what? As a subject, as a noun here. So reading is my hobby. So to read. What is that to read here? Let's see. In this sentence, the word reading function as a noun and is the subject of the sentence also. Yes, reading is my hobby. Here reading has ing form of verb first of all. This is noun also, and here it is acting as a subject of the sentence. Let's see the second sentence. My children like skating. My children like what? They like skating. T-I-N-G, skating. Here also. Now, it suggests an action. Okay, the word skating function as a noun because it is the subject and is the object of the verb like. Here you can see that like is given here. Like is the verb here. And skating is the object of the verb like. Got it? At the same time, it suggests an action to skate. Action is also there to skate because gerund, it has come from the verb only, right? Okay. So, which is the characteristics of a verb? Am I clear here? See. First sentence is reading is my hobby. Another sentence is my children like skating. So reading is my hobby. Reading here is a noun. Got it? As a subject it is used here. But it is formed from what? To read. To read is what? Action. It means verb. Got it? So a gerund is a noun formed from a verb. Always keep in mind. A gerund is a noun. It is a noun, but it is formed from a verb by adding ing. Gerund क्या है? Gerund क्या होता है? ये noun है, लेकिन ये बनाया कहाँ से जाता है? Verb से. कैसे? By adding ing. Okay? So reading is my hobby. Here reading is gerund. Then my children like skating. Here skating is the used here as a gerund. Right? So this was about gerund. Now our today's topic, and that is infinitives. This is infinitives, and this is what we have to study today, right? So I have told you about participle and gerund because this is part of non-finite verb. Got it? So now we came to know that about finite verbs. We came to know very well that finite verbs, it is restricted by what? By person, number, tense. And non-finite verb, it is not restricted by person, number or tense. Now let's see. So here I'm on page number 82, your grammar chapter number 11, and this is infinitives. An infinitive is a non-finite verb form. This means that it is not restricted by person, number or tense. There are two types of infinitives. Got it? So we have already seen about participle gerund, right? And these are the parts of, I have told you that it is a part of non-finite verbs. And infinitives are of two types. They are two infinitives and bare infinitives. In case of two infinitives, we use two. Bare infinitives, we do not use two. That is why it is known as bare infinitive. Now let's see here. The to infinitive, to plus base form of the verb. Always remember, if you are using to, then base form of the verb will come. Let's see the example. The cat tried to catch the mouse. The cat tried to catch the mouse. Got it? Next is, we must plan to start early morning. Always remember, infinitives is a part of non-finite verb and it is not restricted by person, number or tense. Don't think that if the tense gets changed, then this infinitive will also get changed. No, it has no effect of it. The bare infinitive, base form of the verb without to. So in bare infinitive, we do not use to. And this is, I can catch a rat. We will swim across the river tonight. You can see here that we have not used to here. This is, I can catch a rat. We didn't say I can to catch a rat. No, it is not given. It is given, I can catch a rat. Next is given, we will swim across the river tonight. It is not given, we will to swim. This is called bare infinitive where we do not use to. Am I clear, students? So what we have learned today, we have gone through finite verbs, non-finite verbs. Under that we have gone through participle, gerund, and this is your infinitive. Under infinitive, we have seen that there are two types of infinitives. Two infinitives where we use to, and bare infinitive where we do not use to. Got it? So students, that's all for today. What you will do today you will go through this concept very well. You will also study about finite verbs and non-finite verbs, right? So it will be easy for you to understand this concept, right? In the next class, we will move to two infinites. We'll see two infinites, right? So for today, what you have to do, you have to go through this concept again, okay? And revise this, right? So students, thanks for the class and we shall meet soon in the next class. Thanks for watching.